It used to be the time when Xiaomi released just a few devices a year and we all waited for that huge announcement. However, the company keeps releasing one phone after another and the Mi Note 2 is one of the latest and greatest offerings. It is very powerful, it looks just gorgeous, but it is not cheap as it costs about 500 bucks. My name is Linus and here's the full TechLineHD review. The phone ships in quite a simple box, and inside of it you can find all the usual stuff, no extras included. I have to admit that this is one of the most beautiful smartphones Xiaomi has ever made. We have a curved glass on the front and rear, a high-quality metal trim, and tactile metal buttons. We have a gorgeous 5.7 inches 1080p AMOLED panel, which offers deep blacks, punchy colors, and it is plenty sharp for everyday use. The bezels are quite visible, but I'm okay with that. As usual, Xiaomi did not officially confirm the type of protective glass it used for this phone. We have the usual highly customizable and backlit capacitive buttons and a super fast and accurate fingerprint scanner. Keep in mind that you have to physically press the home button to use the fingerprint sensor, but the unlocking process is just seamless and it works 10 out of 10 times. On the top, we have a highly customizable LED notification light and the upgraded 8 megapixels camera with f2.0 aperture and autofocus feature. I've never been a huge fan of glass-made phones, but I have to say that the Mi Note 2 has a somewhat oleophobic coating that does a pretty good job preventing from fingerprints and smudges. We have a powerful 22.5 megapixels camera with f2.0 aperture and a dual-tone dual LED flash, but there is no optical image stabilization. Xiaomi brought the IR blaster back to this phone, which is great so you can control devices like TVs. The sound quality via the headset jack is just excellent. Same can be said about the loudspeaker. The sound is balanced, rich, and it gives you some sort of surround sound effect that a lot of phones lack. When it comes to hardware, you can be rest assured that you will have all the latest and greatest specs packed into this phone. My review unit ships with a Snapdragon 821 chip, 4GB of RAM, and 64GB of storage, which is, however, not expandable. If you are willing to pay more, you can go for the high-end model that has 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. As expected, 3D gaming performance is just excellent and the whole gaming experience is just great thanks to the large display and a great loudspeaker. Finally, the phone does not have any overheating issues. The Xiaomi Mi Note 2 ships with the Android 6.0 based MIUI 8 that we have already seen on other Xiaomi phones. As usual, we have a ton of customization options, various tweaks, settings, and little features to make the phone look your own. Some of the cool features include a baked-in theming engine where you can choose from a lot of themes, fonts, wallpapers, and so on. Also, you can go to the so-called second space, which is, as Xiaomi says, like having two devices at the same time. In other words, is like having two accounts on the same device. However, you have to know that the Chinese version of the phone comes with quite a few bloatware apps that may be annoying. A great thing is that you can easily remove most of them. Finally, I'm fairly impressed with how fast the Mi Note 2 is despite having all those features. The phone is fast, fluid, and I didn't have any hiccups or lag. The camera app allows you to take pictures extremely fast. As usual to Xiaomi phones, there are a few shooting modes and settings to play with. In theory, 22.5 megapixels should give you a lot of detail, and the Mi Note 2's camera does produce very detailed photos that look sharp and the colors are natural. Also, the camera handles the dynamic range and contrast pretty well, but it tends to underexpose the scenery more often than not. Most of the indoor and macro shots were taken in very poor lighting. The phone can take some good-looking photos, but as usual, the noise levels get quite high in lower lit situations. As for night camera performance, it is just average. Well, it is not bad, but I would love the software to kick in to brighten up the scene, as right now the images just look dark. Also, the level of noise could be a lot lower. As for selfie shooter, it can take some nice and detailed photos.
Right now I'm shooting in 4K resolution with the Xiaomi Mi Note 2. This is one of the latest phones made by Xiaomi.
The 4K video is good but not great. The footage is quite sharp, the auto exposure and continuous autofocus work fine, and the colors look natural. However, there are quite a few video artifacts going on, and overall, the footage could look sharper if we compare it to some of the mainstream flagships like the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. The electronic image stabilization uses the gyroscope sensor, and this combination does a pretty good job reducing the shakiness of the video.
That's in real life. Well, this is real life after all, right? So yeah, another test would be in 1080p. And here's approaching the end of this video. So this is another test with a Xiaomi Mi Note 2, and currently I switched the resolution to 1080p.
The 1080p video looks quite good, but obviously there is less detail than in 4K footage.
So right now I'm shooting with the Xiaomi Mi Note 2. I'm using the front-firing camera, as you can see, and I'm comparing the quality of footage with the Mi 5S Plus and the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. So yeah, and as always, I ask you to be the judge and drop me a comment down below and say what you think about the image quality.
The 1080p selfie video looks pretty good, and it will be more than enough for the video chats. When it comes to connectivity, the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 has you covered. It has an international 4G LTE support that assures a fast internet speed, good signal reception, and a great call quality. Also, Wi-Fi, GPS work absolutely fine. In addition, there is NFC connectivity option. The only complaint would be that there is no microSD card slot, but hey, you get 2 SIM card slots as any other Xiaomi phone. The Mi Note 2 ships with a 4070 mAh battery that performs quite well. I was able to get around 5 hours of screen on time on kind of heavy usage, including power penalty of 2 SIM cards, 4 Google accounts, social media accounts, and so on. The phone supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0 tech, but the supply charger can fully charge the phone in about 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is not the best result we've seen this year. The Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is a true flagship phone that just looks beautiful, but it costs almost 500 bucks. So what are you getting for this amount of money? Well, the phone sports an excellent build quality, and that curved glass on the front and rear adds quite a bit of style. Also, powerful internals assure that the device performs very well no matter what you throw at it. If you add a feature-rich user interface, a good battery life, great sound quality, you are looking at a very compelling offering. However, you have to know that even at this price point, the Mi Note 2's camera struggles in low light, the 4K video is not on par with the mainstream flagships, and finally, there is no microSD card slot for storage expansion. At the end of the day, the Xiaomi Mi Note 2 is still a very solid phone as it offers a lot of flagship-grade qualities, but as most of the phones, it has some shortcomings that you have to consider before making a purchase. It was Linus, thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, please drop me a comment down below. Also, please let me guys know in the comment section down below what you think about the Xiaomi Mi Note 2. Is it really worth the price? Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like this video, and follow TechLineHD on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you in the next video soon.